Quest number 147, While Guthix Sleeps. Before we can begin this quest though, we need the biggest recap this series has ever seen. Way back in 2002, we stopped the theft of an ancient weapon called the Staff of Armadil. We almost unwittingly gave it to an evil rogue figure named Lucien, but the Guardians of Armadil steered us to the right path. And we tried to strike him down, but he blew us off and teleported away. We just discovered a little while ago that he eventually did get the staff despite our efforts. The next year, in 2003, we completed the Legends quest, which had us mapping out the Karazi jungle and befriending the natives, forever solidifying our reputation as a legend, and granting us access to the Legends Guild. In 2005, we completed our first mission as a Temple Knight, a secret sect of the White Knights of Falador that stopped world-ending events through espionage and other secret tactical methods. Then in 2007, we helped a skilled adventurer overcome his fears of combat, making him a top-notch fighter and a good friend. Later that year, we discovered the hidden city of Alprasandra, the city built by the traitorous gnome Gluffrey, or at least its sewer system. We almost died, but were saved by Hazelmere. He told us that by saving us, we created a timeline of events that will result in many deaths, including his own, but he believes it to be the right path. Then, finally, earlier this year, we chased down an evil Zamorakian mage named Surok Magus through the Dagon tunnels of chaos, but he ended up getting away from us. We haven't heard from him since. We asked Radimus Urkel if he has any new quests for us. He says he does. A Druidess is organizing a mission to Karamja. The details are sketchy, but he thinks they might want to set up a new worship site for Guthix. The Druidess is named Ivy Sophista, and she's in Taverley. We need to use the passphrase, "Our friend in common places great faith in totems." We find her in the Crystal Chest House and tell her the passphrase. She tells us to meet Therisk upstairs, and Lucian's spies are everywhere. Lucien? We do as she says and speak to him. He says the Karamja mission was just a cover story. He didn't want to put Radimus's life at risk with the real mission. We're shocked at the level of secrecy, but he insists it's needed. Several druids have been murdered in truly terrifying circumstances after strangers arrived. Therisk organized a group of Guthixian followers who are concerned with the events ongoing in RuneScape. They're named Crux Ikal. They believe that they should use their powers of nature to fight against those attempting to throw the world into imbalance. They've been learning about the actions of the Majorat, specifically Lucien. The Cruxicall members who have been researching him have been assassinated. He believes their deaths are warnings to stay away from Lucien. They were able to confirm that he was able to get the Staff of Armadil, despite our efforts 6 years ago. They also know that Lucien has a network of spies and assassins who are doing all they can to stop the world from learning about him. Theric says Zamorak was once a Majorat like Lucien, until he used the Staff of Armadil to reach godhood. Therisk hears someone downstairs. The assassins are here! Oh. Wait, these are the assassins? I guess a low level can die from them, but still. We ask Therisk what they're doing against Lucien. He says they're just trying to track his movements. They know he's somewhere in the north. They also know that he has a significant amount of spies in Draenor. We ask why there. He says they don't know, but a stranger entered Lumbridge Swamp around the same time the spies arrived. A treasure hunter named Mavario. Initially, our mission was to head to the wilderness to find Lucien, but Therisk says it may be better to spy on this Mavario. We ask what Mavario has to do with Lucien. He says it may be nothing, but all three groups, the Temple Knights, the Guardians of Armadil, and Cruxicall, all want to know what he's doing in the Lumbridge Swamp Caves. We ask what they know about him. Mavario is a magically trained adventurer tied to the runecrafting and magic guilds, and spends a lot of time reading archives. Apparently, they're speculating that he helped Lucien track down the Staff of Armadil in the first place. He's got a reputation as an artifact hunter. All three groups want to learn more about him. Therisk says he's going to get all three groups to treat the threat of Lucien seriously. He mentions rumors about the Fist of Guthix and the Eye of Saradomin. We ask him about the former. He says it's mostly associated with the PvP minigame, but he says the minigame was actually named after the Fist of Guthix. But he doesn't want to talk about that right now, and he wants to focus on Mavario. We speculate there might be a tunnel from Lumbridge Swamp to the north, allowing troops to march through. Therisk says there's also speculation about the Eye of Saradomin. We ask what that is. He says it's a phrase from a tome that reads, "And power from Saradomin's eye did strike his enemies, and all was wasted and death that appeared about him." Therisk says it's just metaphorical imagery and it's not important. Back to the mission. He tells us to learn more about Mavario, find out where he lives, and get some proof of what he's researching. He says that he's studied in Verrock Library as well, so Reldo might be able to help. We ask Reldo about Mavario. He says that he speaks with a faint Cassard accent, among a few other traits that he's noticed while he was studying here. He says that Mavario has read and taken notes on books about traps, home improvement, and divination. He has an interest in the oldest history documents. Reldo says that they have an archive, but it's in an old language and barely decipherable. Reldo found out that a thief named Slick Fingers McGrew tried to steal from Mavario and got renamed to No Fingers McGrew, which he thinks happened because of Mavario's newfound trap knowledge. He does have a rumor for us, though. Solving the puzzle arms the trap. We ask if he knows where he lives, but he doesn't. But he thinks it may be around the Khazard area based on his accent. We ask if he has any tips for helping us track him down. He says that some jungle creatures actually have the ability to track a person's scent. We head to Velda Hills and speak with a hunting expert. We ask her about the animal Reldo mentioned. She says it's called a broov, a small wild boar. She says we'd also need to train it if we caught one. There's a hunter that she knows could train it. Herself. Basically, she says if we catch one, she'll take care of training it. We need to bait a pitfall trap with Mortmeyer fungus. She even gives us one. Wow, she's so nice. We head to a small square hole and make our trap. I don't see anything. Oh, there it is. We give it to the hunting expert. She trains it and says the broov tracks best when it has the scent of who we're trying to find. We head to the fight arena with our Ring of Karos equipped and talk to this Khazard launderer, asking him about Mavario. He says he's not supposed to divulge clan details. We charm him and he tells us that he doesn't wash his clothes very well around the neck and some of his robes. And we realize that means he has some of his clothes. We talk him into giving us Mavario's shirt. We head back into the wall we broke down many years ago in the Khazard No More Zone. We drop the broov inside and have it sniff the clothes. It found this table is actually a trapdoor. We find a huge underground base full of elite Khazard guards. We kill a few and run past the others, going deeper underground. We sense we've been teleblocked. Uh-oh. Last time this happened, we sealed the fate of Hazelmere. We see a door. It has some sort of code on it made of rune symbols and a message saying further access prohibited. Wait, the D in the last word is a water rune. Does that mean all the water runes in the message are Ds also? Well, maybe, but that doesn't really tell us what the others are. There's a slot at the bottom that will fit a rune. Let's put a water rune in there. We remember the rumor we heard about No Fingers McGrew. We find that putting a rune in there engaged a trap. We disarm it and open the door, finding a huge laboratory with books and wires strewn all over the place, and a stairway leading up surrounded by an electrified jail cell. We start by looking at a painting on the wall, a muscular man holding up a giant book. We find it has a catch that we flip and it reveals a hidden room. Inside are some drawers, a collection of weights, and a thermometer. The drawers have a scale on them. The thermometer reads 43 tickets. We go back out to the main room and start searching bookcases, finding that each of them has a lever disguised as a book. We pull them randomly to see if anything happens, and one of them has a loud click and lights up one of the wires. We follow the lit wire to another bookcase and pull the lever on it, and repeat until the electricity around this gate disappears. We open the gate and find another trap on the stairs. Jeez, Mavario must be really paranoid. We disarm it and head up. We find a statue depicting the same thing on the painting downstairs. We find Mavario's research notes. Oh, buckle in. This thing's 42 pages.
Mauritania. There is little that is easy to gain in the dark lands of Mauritania, as Draken still holds sway over his subjects. Note, return journey should be completed with a considerable amount of preparation. Wilderness. Began my investigations within the blasted lands of the wilderness, particularly east of the demonic ruins. Made some surprising finds that will be noted later. See suspected Dragonkin artifacts. Primary expedition notes. Temple of Ikov, suspected site of the Staff of Armadillo. Strange that there is so little information on this seemingly powerful artifact. Perhaps further research into the lore and arcana stored in Varrock Library will reveal more information. Dig site. Interesting archaeological excavation taking place east of Varrock. Useful information being gleaned from relics found in the soil. Should return with a view to expanding search. There may be larger elements to be unearthed. Swamps of Lumbridge. The swamps are littered with sinkholes, leading to a massive city inhabited with ingenious goblins. I discovered the city by means of lower calibration divining equipment. These goblins have created utterly fascinating mechanisms. I should install some of them at home to ensure I keep prying eyes and fingers away from my most valued items. Hollows area, Mauritania. Interesting tomb of some ancient character hidden within Mortmeyer, possibly one of the 7 priestly warriors? Little time to look into this in any depth. Staff on coffins seems to be very detailed and made out of curious materials. Unfortunately, staff fused to the coffin, so could not liberate. Should return later with a separation spell, in order to claim the prize for myself. This place has a strange aura about it. Lunar Isle. Feels something unusual here. Vaguely similar to the feeling I got in Mauritania, and also in the vicinity of Fiara's cave, where many people engage in the activity referred to as the Fist of Guthix. A feeling that there was once great power at these places. Basics of magic, reference to a Stone of Jas, and someone, possibly Valator or Vassiter, who found it. Both were Fremennik who were around at the time. Stone of what, though? Why did these scholars think it necessary to cloud their writings in secrecy? Mad thoughts lead to mad people. Ah yes, my old notes mentioned something. The Oracle babbled about someone called Jas leaving a stone behind, and Mad Melzar bleated about the cabbage of Jas. Could these be one and the same? A Stone of Jas, a possible source of runestone magics, the source of the runestones themselves? There is some connection here with my other work. More research is needed, obviously. Always more research needed. Who or what is Jas? Shiloh Village, Ramja. An element of dark and ancient evil resides here. The spirit of some ancient and twisted jungle demon still seems present. Even though the totems have been returned to their original state, the peoples of the Karazi jungle seem unaware that the spirit grows in potency. Perhaps some new recruit to the Legends Guild will take on the daunting task. I've spent many days reading on such ancient dread. I feel its presence ever at my side. Once my research is done, I shall feel the warmth of sunshine on my body and the fine sands of Karamja beneath my feet. There is still much to do before this takes place. Some troubling references to the powers of Saradomin in the tomes of Iraq. Reference 32.1. Saradomin's will. With the power of Saradomin's eye, he was struck down. Something about the phrasing doesn't seem right, and it mirrors other references attributed to Guthix. The mighty power of the Fist of Guthix tore the earth asunder, and the shaking ground did swallow his enemies. Focus on single body part of Guthix is unusual, with no reference made to feet, head, etc. Why is this bothering me? Reference 32.2. Lores of ancient gods. The stranger in our midst stood forward when asked, "Speak ye lies afore me," spoke Saradomin, "and my eye shall see it. In vengeance for your evil, it will shatter you like ice, and your remains shall feed the earth." Once again, Saradomin has an eye, but nothing else is mentioned. Do I just imagine this? Ruins of User. A closer look into this fascinating area should be organized as soon as possible. Reference 32.21. Histories of Guthix. Direct translation, refine. And he with the stone rock-like hand, fist made clear that a place of safekeeping should be sought, for he desired that the power should not be used to usurp, as had been done before. All, he knew, were guilty, and would be thrown and displaced from Gielinor, and at one again with the natures of the world could he return. Desert areas. Further interests include Narda, the land south of the desert mining camp, and the strange city to the south, Menaphos, and Sophanim. A thorough magical survey of the desert lands is also an important task to complete. Who knows what other treasures lie hidden in those ancient and barren lands? Reference 32.14. Histories of the Helpers, High Order of Guthix. A healer of Guthix spoke unto me that he had seen the power, that Guthix's fists would tear at the feeble grasp of those pretender gods who claim possession of the unfortunates that live in RuneScape. I wonder if Guthix's lips could drink the oceans dry. Foolish thoughts. On to research. Interesting tunnels and catacombs lead to the lands of the elves, west of Ardoin. Though the route through is somewhat dull, further research should yield even more interesting results. What wonderful research opportunities it represents. The demon birds, evil birds, spirits of the east, dragonkin, or something else. I have so far deciphered that these strange phenomena are mentioned only cryptically, written down by adventurers who have become the hapless victims. The dragonkin's arrival seems to predate most things. In short, the arrival of these creatures, whatever they are, seems to signal the absolute destruction of any local area they are visiting. I suspect that they are creatures brought here by gods to support them during the God Wars. Also, I suspect that they are responsible for the metallic dragon items. Where this material comes from is still a mystery. Suspected dragonkin artifacts. Key handle discovered by use of strong divination magic in the eastern parts of the wilderness. Key teeth discovered after many days searching the ruins behind the Backstorian Falls. Cavern structure seems unusual. It looks natural, but is too well crafted and precise. Further investigation of this place is required. Experimentation on Dragonkin key melding. Uniting both key parts has so far proved utterly frustrating, without even the slightest sign of success. In order to attain the very high temperatures required to meld the parts together, I have stocked many items and a kiln in my special workshop. So far, all efforts have proved useless. The effect of magical pyrologs and coal is intensely fierce, yet it still doesn't make the key parts warm. Same is also true of my attempts with magical heat. I fear that in my enthusiasm to unite both parts, I shall lose both as they melt away into nothingness in the kiln. Such is the intensity of my recent test that the kiln has even broken. Further research into the peculiar material is clearly needed, but to whom can I trust such sensitive details? What talents I have for research in ancient lore is not matched by my knowledge of the metallurgic arts. Such intense studying will require much time. Too much, I fear. Note, I should research dwarven areas to see if experience of this material exists. Question is, can I trust them? Must develop the magical arts required for very binding contract spells, so I cannot be double-crossed. Goblins and goblin know-how. Feeling inspired by ingenuity of cave goblins near Lumbridge. Flabbergasted would be an understatement. Who knew that pale cave-dwelling goblins could exhibit such fine motor skills and even finer thought processes? Language doesn't seem to be problematic. There are powerful forces in the area. Can't quite put my finger on it. Seems to be familiar, but just can't place it. Unsurprisingly, Juna continues to be a pain. Should return with my Arcana divining apparatus to take some accurate readings. I wonder if they will be as misleading as the readings in Mauritania, or as strong as Lunar Isle. Lucien will be pleased. Backstorian Caverns. Underground ruins of peculiar origin, reported to exist near the Backstorian Falls. Upon researching the area, I was immediately struck by the precision of some elements within the caverns. There is much difficulty in getting into the cavern complex, and a comparable difficulty in dispatching the denizens therein. They soon determined to let me be. After some swift and aggressive spell casting on my part, resources ran out before I was able to make a complete search of the area. I returned, and after only 12 days I found interesting, almost invisible arcane symbols. Type 12, possibly of the Second Age. Also, interesting markings near to rough-looking steps. The constructions within that cavern must be of dragonkin origin. The issues of Lucien. From the limited conversations I've had with Lucien, he seems very businesslike. Some might call him abrupt. While I personally prefer an efficient form of conversation, I dislike his personal ambition, which is quite immense. Conflicting emotions surge through me as I research for him. My curiosity gets the better of me, however, and Lucien affords me great resources. I've piqued his curiosity with the unlikely Stone of Jas. At least the resources he sends gives me freedom to pursue more likely considerations, like the eye and the fist. I'll not reveal that to him. He seems content to leave me alone, preferring to focus on a coming meeting with his Majorat brothers. The potential power that these artifacts could harbor is something to consider, in the hands of Lucien, who knows what he would do. With Lucien so far away in the north, he would have no clue if I were to come across them. I could report that my findings have not met with success. I steel myself at this thought. His powers have increased significantly since he acquired the staff, and I remember the stench of death and overwhelming magic that surrounds him. The degree of his spellcasting and incantations have started to border on the insane. My experiences in the many different tombs, temples, and forbidden places of this world have given me a strength that many men do not possess. I am not given to weakness in the face of a challenge, but, rather, I look forward to it. The many enemies I've dispatched, flesh and blood from some dark plane, have given me the thrill and ferocity needed to fight for my life. I will remember forever the utterly consuming dread in my heart at my last meeting with Lucien. He began the incantation of Demonicus Arboris, the dark art of binding demons to a perpetual state of torment. Something considered to be impossible. The sickening stench of putrefied death filled my nostrils as the screeching arcane words stung the air. A slight tremble came from beneath my feet, then a jolt, sending me flying to the ground. Cracks appeared in the earth around me, and dust filled the air. A multitude of piercing screams filled my ears. A hole the size of a house opened in the earth at Lucien's feet. Searing flames licked angrily over the lip and instantly blackened the soil, charring it, melting sand into glass. The hiss and spit of evil energy was all around as the enormous bone and flesh construction of the demon erected itself and turned its foul, fire-enveloped mass towards us. At one moment, its skin and bone healed into muscle mass of fearsome dimensions. The next moment, that flesh was burnt to the bone by some unholy, unrelenting, and ravaging flame. Such agony and anger was carved into this demon's features, such malevolence and hatred poured forth that I still quake to remember it. As I lay there trying to hold on to my sanity, Lucien laughed exultantly at his creation. The demon's flaming eyes flicked from red to white hot as it looked at Lucien with vengeance and dark brutality in its heart. Yet Lucien controlled the creature like a puppet and gestured for it to bow down and offer fealty. I've never felt such menace and dread as I did on that day. I know in my heart that giving further power to Lucien is one of questionable merit. With luck, I can avoid doing so. Perhaps I am gone mad with desire to gain these artifacts, to find the proof of my most excellent research and my most compelling desire. I should prepare before my next meeting with Lucien and seek out Silverlight in case he sets one of those foul, tormented demons loose upon me. As I sit here now and contemplate a fight against such aberrations of nature, such manifest evil, I conspire to work out a means of victory. The gods know I stand little chance of besting them, these abhorrent demons of pain. I fear that normal weapons will be only marginally useful, as the creatures seem to possess some sort of magical defense. I should like to think that I could rack it with indigestion as it consumes me. Such morbid thoughts pervade me now. On to research. Special considerations for Dorgish Khan. Contact Dov and make sure he is properly prepared. Shouldn't run into any problems, but it doesn't hurt to have a bit of muscle in case it's needed. If that interfering Juna decides to cause some trouble, I've got some magics prepared. Also, remember to pack the Ada for a more thorough search within that area. Must find out what that strange aura is. First Mauritania, then Lunar Isle, and now here of all places. It seems different here, but there is no mistaking that familiar feeling.
Research notes 2? Well, alright. Back to the subterranean research facility. There's a shining pile of treasure and a dragon longsword. It's gotta be a trap. Yeah, that floor right there is a dead giveaway. You can examine it. We take a waste paper basket and find a tiny key inside. Nearby, we find a bookcase with a fake book and a key slot. We put the key inside, and a contraption comes to life and builds a staircase. We climb it, and this appears to be a bedroom, but the bed is quite tough and uncomfortable. We take out the sheets, and it's actually a chest. We unlock it with the same key and find yet another trap, which we disarm. We open it up and find a strange key that's broken in two, and volume 2 of his notes. Okay, this one's way shorter.
Staff of Armadillo. My suspicions have been borne out. The Staff of Armadillo has no wards to protect it. Lucien has taken ownership and he has little problem wielding the artifact. It is a beautiful item of exquisite workmanship. Note: research lore on the construction of the Staff of Armadillo. There must be mention of it somewhere. Lucien's spies. Dov sent news that strangers are abroad at Draenor. I suspect Lucien has something to do with this, or perhaps that lunatic squall mage he's hired. He knows that I'm interested in that area. With any luck, they won't have made their way into the caves yet, and I can keep my finds secret from them. 2 of the staff. First, we have Zamorak, the Majorat god who wielded the staff to gain power and fight the Nameless One, whose name is Zeros. Doesn't everyone know this already? Now, we have Lucien who aspires to the same, and I'm wondering why it hasn't happened already. With the innate ability of the Majorat, the power that Lucien has displayed to me is already incredible. Why does he wait before taking the journey further to aspire as Zamorak did, to godhood? I don't believe it's fear. I think he would relish the battle against those who would oppose him. Does he have the power of a god? I think not. Although he is incredibly powerful, he is missing the absolute. Yet, Zamorak, who was not really a mage, but a warrior, had less power and was still able to ascend. It doesn't make sense, unless I missed something in the research. Did I miss something? Safekeep, a place, or just random mumblings of lunatic sages. Some references found about a place of safekeep, or keep safe, translated from the old tongue. It is roughly in the area which is now known as Lumbridge Swamp. Maybe some friendly cave goblins know about it. Some links to Guthix, but not quite sure how. At least the followers of Guthix anyway. Also, mention of orb torches, possibly some element that allows further access. Perhaps I shouldn't take this research so seriously. I must remind myself that these tomes were written hundreds of years ago, transcribed from documents that are possibly thousands of years old. They were written by the very first clerics of the gods. little more than farmers in mentality, but utterly devoted to their deity. In fairness, would I have acted any differently? Had I been witness to the glories of the gods at that time, wouldn't I have done exactly the same? This section is interesting. Some mention of Guthix in a sacred place, a henge place perhaps. Maybe a temple, a Guthix temple? A passage written in the old tongue, type 8 or 9, early 4th age. Place of safekeep, forever sacred and hidden. Only brothers who preach divinity shall enter. Trials created by the brothers of Guthix to preserve the most gracious gift of the earth. Health or safety, healing, power? Man must stand proud and answer the riddle with the aid of the lore. Only a brother with this knowledge can take the path to the hand of power. Hands equal fist. Fist plus power equals Guthix, equals fist Guthix. Fist of Guthix. Rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. Fist of Guthix. After research failed to uncover any more clues, I was ready to admit defeat and concentrate on more realistic research, which might yield an actual artifact. This seems like such tantalizing information, though. Subtle references to the fist must either be a desire for secrecy, or my blind, overeager determination to believe that such things exist. It becomes apparent to me. These references are written in the old style. The fist, the hand, the eye. They may not be directly attributed to Saradomin or Guthix, but to a manifestation. Could it possibly be? The fist of Guthix isn't Guthix's actual fist, but a symbol of his power. Possibly a very real, very valuable item or artifact. It may be an artifact used by the gods during their time on RuneScape. Is this true of the Eye of Saradomin as well? Not one, but 2 items used by the gods on RuneScape. For more time to research this, Lucien calls me once again. How long must I be this Majorat's dog? The missing elements of Zamorak. I have read of the Eye of Saradomin and the Fist of Guthix. Where are the references to Zamorak's godly power? Is it the staff? It's clearly not powerful enough to turn a Majorat into a god. If so, Lucien would have undoubtedly used it himself already. This leaves 2 possibilities. Possibility 1. Zamorak is a more powerful mage than has been credited in the lores, and was able to ascend godhood with the Staff of Armadil and his own magic. Possibility 2. Zamorak, with the Staff of Armadil, found some other source of power to help him achieve godhood, but kept it secret from his followers for fear that they would follow him. Now, Lucien, a powerful mage already in possession of the staff, seems intent on securing the Jas Stone. Does he believe it really exists? Does he know it exists because he knows that Zamorak used it himself? Or am I deluding myself again? Lucien calls, and faithful hound Mavario must answer. How tedious. But I can look forward to the technical marvels of the cave goblins, something which should give me good cheer. Dorgish Khan, here I come. What can I find out there about safekeep and the trial of the brothers?
We head back down to the wire room and go into the hidden room behind the painting. We find some notes in a drawer, a treatise on pressure. It's Mavario's notes regarding vertical pressure, or simply gravity's force on any given object. He essentially found the weight of a kilogram and referred to it as a ticket. The thermometer reads 43 tickets, we weigh 47. We go back up and investigate the statue. There appears to have been heavy objects placed on it before, and it seems to sink based on how much is placed on it. We put 4 tickets on it. We escape Mavario's hideout and can teleport away. We go back to Taverley and report to Therisk. He says next we need to find out where Lucien is. He tells us to meet up with the Guardians of Armadil, then find him in the White Knight's castle. He mentions that there have been strangers spotted around McGrubber's wood. We head there and find there are mercenaries cutting down the Guardians. We kill them and talk to one of them. He says we need to find Idria in the arms of a forester. She needs to be protected. He passes out before he can say anything else. The others won't really talk. We go to the arms of a forester inn and find Idria upstairs. We tell her what happened. She already knows who we are. And she says we had the same goal to bring Lucien to justice. She says she wants to go and help ease the suffering of the Guardians. We lie and tell her that all of them died before we left? I don't know why we did that. We tell her we need to find Lucien. She says Lucien's raising an undead army in the wilderness. She believes he plans to take over all of RuneScape. She says our best bet in finding him is interrogating one of his spies. We think the Temple Knights may be able to help there. She says she'll meet with us in Falador. We talk with Sir Tiffy. When we mention Lucien, he says we need to talk with the person in charge of their anti-Lucien efforts, Akrase Kolyum. We find him in the castle. Idria's already there, along with Therisk. We tell them Idria's plan. Therisk says we can make an improved truth serum so that we don't have to torture anyone. Accuracy gives us a tele orb. He says we just need to plant it on a spy and then come back. They'll do the rest. He casts a tele other Draenor spell. Nice. We find a suspicious outsider, but he catches us trying to get into his pockets. So instead, we find this shady stranger who's much less alert and get the orb in his pocket. We go back to Accuracy and let him know it's done. There sends a feeble old man to administer the potion, and it goes about as well as you'd hope. The potion shatters on the floor. Therisk says it was their only potion, so we'll need to make more. First, we need a true serum like the one Betty made for us in the Hand of the Sand quest, along with an enriched snapdragon. We ask for a snapdragon seed, but he makes us pay for it. We buy it, and have Therisk teleport us to Port Sarim. We tell Betty what we need. She says we need to enrich the seed the same way we enrich the vial, by shining sunlight through a rose-tinted lens on it. She gives us the standard truth serum for free, and she tells us she'll sell us rose dye for 20 gold. We buy the dye our lens, and shine it on the seed. Then take it. It's huge! Therisk says we need to plant it in the specifically prepared patch atop this castle. Then Idria has something for us to do. We go to the top and plant the seed, then head back. Idria believes we need to take back the Staff of Armadil, and the only way to do that might be to kill Lucien. We say we'll need an army. She agrees. She says we'll need to assemble a group of elite heroes to take on Lucien. She tells us to recruit Turiel, Hazelmere, Duradel, and Moschina. We use this opportunity to swap to the Lunar Spellbook and use NPC contact to recruit the 3 Slayers. Moschina has a personal grudge, and he says he's pretty much immortal, so he has no reason not to. Duradel is also happy to put an end to Lucien. Turiel says he's planning to retire and would love one more exciting battle before then, and we go to Hazelmere. We tell him about Lucien growing in power, and that we're assembling a task force to stop him. He asks us if it'll be dangerous. We tell him it's going to likely be the most dangerous task he's ever been involved in. He accepts as well. We go and harvest the Snapdragon and put it in the True Serum, making a Super True Serum. We enter the jail cell this time and threaten to torture the spy unless he drinks the serum. He does without protest. He says he was hired by a mage named Dark Squall. He says Dark Squall has giant undead trolls at his side, just like that Dwarven explorer reported in his notes. He wears a red mask, a hooded burgundy robe with purple trim and a diamond symbol on the front, and he wears a tan jacket over it all. We make a sketch of his description. We give it to Idria, and she says they're going to try and get information on Dark Squall, and she asks us to recruit more heroes. Gomal, Sloan, and Haralak of the Warriors Guild, and Cyrusus, our adventuring friend. We contact Cyrusus, and he happily accepts like the brave adventurer we helped him be. We go to the Warriors Guild and talk to Gomal. He accepts. We talk to Guildmaster Haralak Mineros. He accepts. Same with Sloan. Getting pretty cramped in there. Accuracy sent his assistant Silif to scout the Black Knight's fortress after reports of Dark Squall being there, but he hasn't been heard from since he reported Dark Squall entered the fortress. Accuracy wants to send us there to find out what's going on. We put on our disguise of a bronze med helm and an iron chain body, as is tradition, and head into the cellar that King Arthur was kept in. We notice a tile we didn't see last time we were here. We cast a Charge Earth Orb spell, using the tile as a focus. The orb shatters, and the tile opens, revealing a ladder. We find a huge cave full of what appear to be elite Black Knights and Dark Warriors. We run past them, jumping over a broken bridge, climbing up a wall, and sprinting around a barricade. Eventually, we come to a fork with a bunch of doorways. We ignore them for now and head into a jail area and find Silif in a cell. This guy's blocking us. Oh wow, nice prayer. Sit! We talk to Silif. I think they tortured him. He says he's in need of a restore potion, some food, and a way out. We head back and go through one of the doors. Yeah, right. Oh wow, that's an expensive plate body. We kill a few more of these guys and wear their armor. Now they don't know we're not a Black Knight. We find a lobster and a restore potion, a key, another full armor set, a full set of Dagon High robes, and an orb that looks like the tele-orb we planted on the spy earlier. We use the key to open the cell and give him the lobster we found and the restore potion. He wants us to get into Dark Squall's inner base. He says he's wanting to find a map of this place and duplicate it when he returns to Falador. He puts on the extra set of armor we stole, and we go back into the previous room with him. He finds the map that he's looking for, and he's going to spend time studying it. He hands us a teleorb that he still so happens to have with him. He says we need to find Dark Squall and plant it on him. We find him in the next room over as he's getting briefed on the Sylph situation. We plant the orb on him. He turns around. He recognizes us? It's Surok Magus! He orders the Black Knights to attack us, and we teleport to Falador. We tell Acrisay what happened. He explains that he sent the group of heroes down to the western perimeter of the wilderness to find Lucien's base. They have a plan. They think Surok met with Lucien face to face, so they're going to have us disguise ourselves as Surok and find a way into Lucien's base, somewhere in the northwestern wilderness. Sylph says he found some hints about a special orb used to get there. We show them the orb we found. Sylph says we should keep it with us. Acrisay says they're going to have us switch places with Surok, using their magic and the teleorb we planted. We put on the Dagonhai robes and Acrisay casts a spell. See ya! We climb up a ladder and find a big room. There's a death rune on the wall, and a law rune on this one. We stand in the middle and use the orb. It consumes the death and law rune in our inventory, and we find ourselves somewhere cold. It's one of the undead trolls. We must be near Trollheim. We head off and we're stopped by a knight. He tells us that we can observe Lucien recruiting from the top of the chapel. We climb up an ice wall. Oh, this is the Chaos Altar near King Black Dragon. We jump over and we're in the deep wilderness now. In Multi, no less. We head to the edge and see Lucien summoning skeletons using the Staff of Armadil.
Now to recruit for my great army.
Lucien!
Ika za Nictrius, Zonka Taterius.
What's he doing now?
You are not Surok, and you are not welcome.
We barely get out of the way in time, then the two knights behind us take their swings, we dodge again, and they take the next spell from Lucien. They both die instantly. Hazelmere spots us somewhere far away with the rest of the heroes. Wait, what was it Hazelmere told us? Skilled brothers numbering 8 will assemble to fight the Majoret Deceiver. They will be heading north to confront him. The time after this is clouded to me, but I see you clearly, dressed in the evil robes of night, lightly decorated with ochre, like burnished gold and the rust colors of autumn leaves. Though the robes represent an order of evil, you will not follow that path. You will remain true to Guthix. Of the 8, only 2 shall return. 1 represents the path of Slayer, and 1 the path of the Warrior. This might have been different, but I have made my choice, and it's up to you to prove that I made the right one. Oh no. They teleport in to help us. Sloan and Duradel are immediately killed. Hazelmere shoots a crystal at Lucien, which he completely ignores. Cyrus and Turiel try to hit Lucien with their weapons. They shatter. Hazelmere accepts his fate. We yell for him to get out. But Lucien kills them all.
What wonderful devastation. Still, I have things to attend to.
Moshina and Haralak survived. Moshina says we need to avenge the other Slayer Masters. Haralak brings him to reason and says we need to regroup in Falador. They somehow teleport out of the level 38 wilderness. We vow to make Lucien pay. We escape the wilderness, and then teleport. We talk to Idria and yell at her for getting our friends killed. She says they're going to build statues in their honor, but we still have work to do. Their sources say Mavario is on the move. They think he's looking for the Fist of Guthix in the Lumbered Swamp Caves. We put the pieces together. The Tears of Guthix Cavern is where Guthix was said to have wept with sorrow at the state of RuneScape after the God Wars. Idria wants us to find Mavario and pretend to be Surok and help him investigate. We teleport to Juna and find Mavario along with someone else and a group of cave goblins. We tell Mavario we're Surok and we were sent by Lucien to check on his progress. He tries to send us away, but we press and say we're here to help. We bring up his research and say we agree with him. He warms up to us and tells us what he knows. He believes something called the Stone of Jas, the Fist of Guthix, and the Eye of Saradomin are all the same thing. He believes it was once used by both Guthix and Saradomin to increase their godly powers, as well as Zamorak, and now Lucien wants to do the same. He thinks it's at the bottom of this massive chasm, but he doesn't know how to get down there. We mention the light creatures, and we explain that we're able to use them to carry us to the other side before. He asks if they've ever brought us down. We tell him no, but we think it's because the light wasn't bright enough, probably. He says he knows a blue light spell. Before we try it, we talk to one of the goblins. They say they're being paid to help Mavario with an important expedition, and he's also making one of them try and climb down with a rope. We lure a light creature, and Mavario casts his blue light spell. We go really far down and land somewhere. We find the remains of some humanoids that seem to have fallen down here a long time ago. One of them has a druid pouch and a blessed silver sickle, which we take. We also find a brazier underneath a rock with a charged fire orb. We take that as well. We find another one with an earth orb, another with an air orb, and another with a water orb. We follow a path down and find 4 skull-shaped rocks. 4 orbs, 4 rocks. Each one has a small cavity on its cheek. Examining reveals that there's a symbol of each elemental rune on it. We insert the appropriate orb in each recess, and each one gives us the metallic cube. We crawl into the nose cavity of one of them and find a tunnel. We crawl through and find a recess with an earth symbol and insert the cube we got. We do this 2 more times until we're left with only a fire cube. We climb up to the 4 skull and put the fire cube in its missing slot on the mouth. Then we find a way to open it and crawl inside. We head down another tunnel and find a large stone table with 8 round stones on it and a Guthix symbol in the middle, along with a massive door with a skull on it. A Guthix symbol is carved on the floor, and there are many branching paths around this room. We head down one of them and see ghosts of what appear to be Guthixian druids. We head to the end of the path and see there's some sort of altar with a prayer icon and a bowl. We use the druid pouch we found earlier on one of the spirits. He thanks us for releasing him and says the fruits of Guthix's lore are ours, leaving behind a cleaning of Anto and a Mortmire fungus. We do this again with another druid for a Quorum and a Limpwort root, and then again for a dwarf weed and a wine of Zamorak. With these ingredients, we know we can make certain potions. We run around trying to find a symbol matching what we can make. We find one for raging and brew a raging potion in the bowl. The statue animates and a small dolmen appears. We take it. We do this a couple more times, then take the dolmens and place them on a table in the center room. A huge dolmen sprouts from the ground. Guess we need 5 more. We bloom the vines on the ground and pick flowers to add them to the druid pouch and go around getting the 5 dolmens we need. As we put the 8th dolmen down, the floor rises up and unlocks the door. It opens and the large dolmens sink back into the ground. Is that it? We walk up and touch it. An elemental made of water, earth, fire, and air comes out of it.
By the order of the governance of Guthix, what rights do you have here?
What?
Perhaps some violence will make you understand.
We fight back. It's draining our stats. Oh, it's draining them fast. We kill it, it suspends in the air.
And to protect the stone until such a time as, near to death, whereby you are relieved of all duties and shall henceforth be returned to your home plane with the gratitude and blessings of Guthix.
I guess it returned home. There was a barrier around the stone, but now it's gone. We touch it again and see a dwarf do the same thing in a smaller cave. It turns him into a man. The Stone of Jas. It belongs to Jas. Protection, growing in power. No, the Dragonkin. What are we saying? Darv and Mavario arrive. They spoke with Lucien since we left and found out what's going on. Wait, our stats? Holy! We ask what they're going to do with the stone. Darv says he wants to sell it. Mavario says he wants to study it to find the source of its power. We ask what it is. He says it's the most important, powerful artifact in all of RuneScape. This temple was built by ancient Guthixian followers to hide the stone away forever, the locking mechanism being the first stone circle. Mavario believes that the other circles around the world may be an homage to this one. We tell him we can't let Lucien near it. He says he has no interest in giving it to Lucien. We ask how he's expecting to stop him with his extensive spy network. He refuses to answer us. We tell him we'll stand in their way. Darv says he'll take us on, but Mavario stops him, knowing that we can beat them both quite easily. Wow, that's the first time an NPC has ever showed us respect like that. Still, Mavario says we're no match for Lucien, so we may as well let him research. And as he finishes that sentence...
Hang on. What's that energy build up in the room? Something powerful is coming. I'm awed by its strength.
You've discovered my prize at last. Mavario, why wasn't I informed of this earlier?
My lord Lucien, there's much more research I need to do before it is safe to be used.
Nonsense. I feel it calling to me and I need its power. Who's this? RS3 released? I remember we have unfinished business, but I am pressed for time. Any last requests before I kill you?
What are you gonna do with the Stone of Jas?
This fine bauble, Guthix's most powerful tool, shall supplement my own passive power. I will be entering the ritual very well prepared. Your so-called civilizations shall be swept away like those of old. The Majorats shall soon take their rightful place as sole inheritors and leaders of RuneScape, and I will be their lord. If you humans are lucky, your children shall become our slaves.
Why is the Stone of Jas so important to you?
The stone is power, and power is life. Can't you feel it? The lifeblood of power vibrating from the stone. It fills my senses. It's almost overpowering. Mavario, you have outdone yourself this time.
Thank you, my lord.
So power is all you're interested in?
Power is the only thing to be interested in. You're misguided, sad, and directionless if you think otherwise.
Do you really hope to follow in the footsteps of Zamorak?
My destiny is my concern. You needn't bother yourself. Your days will end soon enough.
As powerful as you are, Lucien, I think Zamorak will have something to say about your future plans. He'll probably want the staff back for a start.
Hold your vile tongue, puny human. Do you know who you address? I am Lord Lucien of the Martyrat, master of the 1,000 curses. Look upon my works and despair.
You'll never have that satisfaction, Lucien. You killed my friends, and no matter what it takes, I'll make it my mission to destroy you, and all your kind!
Powerful words for someone about to die. This conversation bores me. I must attend to my godhood.
Time for us to leave, Darth.
And I'll only want the strongest as my worshippers. Those too weak to slay even those lowly beasts will certainly not be wanted.
Idri and the Guardians of Armadale teleport in to assist. We killed both demons in 2 hits each. But we feel the power of the stone fading. We survived, but we lost. We were so close. We beat everything in front of us, but it still slipped away. Wait, that's what Hazelmere told us. There will be a time of great change, and you will do a great good during this time. At times your task will appear impossible, and it will seem as if the power of Guthix, which you will seek with mighty intent, will slip away even after you prevailed so hard. But don't give up hope. She teleports us back to Falador. She gives us 5k gold and a lump of some sort of dragon metal that dropped from the demons we killed. She says she thinks it's a shard of ancient dragon armor. She thinks the dwarves at the blast furnace might know more. Quest complete. Idri says she thinks some of the power of the stone is still within us, and she can help us release it. Holy 100k in any scale above 65? Definitely Herblore. Wait, there's more? Herblore again? More? Herblore. From 65 to 70 Herblore. Wowee. Okay, this is just getting ridiculous. Crafting. There, that's all of it. We get a vision. Strength grows within me. The power resonates.
I feel it too, and it is fast. The dragonkin shall be freed. We shall cause the world to quake with our might.
Let us bring terror and pain to the small races. Terror and pain.
Oh no. What have we done? Quest number 148. Myths of the White Lands. In Lumbridge, we ask Explorer Jack for a quest. He says he heard from a snow imp priceless riches and knowledge in the caves of the Land of Snow, and dark, sleek stones protected by a fearsome creature. He asks us to get them for him. We ask how we get there. He says he has an acquaintance in the Wizard's Tower named Isidore, who will teleport us if we give him the phrase Ectosum Glicindo. We go to the Wizard's Tower and find Isidore.
Oh, hello there. Can I do anything for you?
I'm a friend of Explorer Jack and need some teleporting somewhere. The phrase is Ectosum Glicindo. Could you help me, please?
Oh, very well then. Here you go. Ectosum Glissendo.
Merry Christmas! So this entire quest is just a series of floor sliding puzzles. Let's see how quick we can solve them without a guide. Alright, this doesn't look too hard. Over this way. Yeah, easy. What? Wait, what? How do you go through that? Alright, well. This makes it a little bit harder. Are those 2 spikes right there? You should not be able to go through. That's so weird. Alright, well. First puzzle solved. Now that one was easy. What's next? Ooh, new little mechanic up here. Alright, up this way. And then we go... What? Huh? Bruh. What? Huh? Why does that keep happening? It's just like bouncing me off the wall. Alright, there we go. I think we can go this way. Then... Oh, no, nothing can stop me from... Yeah, okay. We gotta go up the ramp. I think this way? Now in the corner, we can go diagonally. And diagonally again. And, oh, these diagonals are just too strong. Easy. Bowl me in. It just keeps going. Okay. Is this gonna bounce me off too? No, okay. You can touch this wall apparently. Now up, diagonal down, and we're done. Nice. I think... No, we're stuck this way. Go back. Should be able to go diagonally from here. What's that crevice? Alright. Well, next room. Oh, a new mechanic. Can we slide these blocks? Need stable footing. Okay. Slide from here? No, it's stuck. How about this one? Nope, same thing. Well, let's proceed then. Pretty easy to get through this room. Yeti! It yelled us back. It shook the cave with that screech. Maybe the block's gonna be moving now? Yep. So now we just need to move the blocks. This part's not really too much of a puzzle. Just gotta stand on the snow and then push the blocks. There's not really any options. I guess the puzzle is figuring out how to get to the snow. Oh. Okay. Pretty easy. Push it this way. Can we move while it's sliding? Oh, the technology. Push this one. Almost done. Just need a couple more pushes for both of them. And that one's in the slot now. 2 more pushes and we are done. So now I bet if we go back through that crevice from earlier, we can get across. An image on the wall. Looks like we're supposed to yell into the hole here. Hey! Hey! It scared him so bad he passed out. Are these the stones? Look suspicious. We take them and then head out. 3 snow imps are waiting for us. They let us know that they're pranking Explorer Jack for being nosy and bothering them. These stones are Yeti poop. They tell us that we're not annoying and enchant the stones so they won't thaw out and sneak us up. We deliver them to Jack and neglect to tell him what they are. Quest complete. A nice 500 XP lamp. Quest number 149, in Pyre Need. We run down near the fishing colony and find a part of the woods that's burning, with a priest of Guthix standing nearby. He begs us to help. Her? Whoa, hold your unicorns, help who? He says this cave is the roost of the legendary Phoenix, and she needs our help. He's been studying her for a while and found the Phoenix can live forever, but she's not truly immortal. The Phoenix can live to be 500 years old. To be reborn, she has to go through a special ritual. She's here to do exactly that. But she was gravely wounded on her way back, and she'll die if we don't help. We ask why he doesn't help her. He says he's not skilled enough to, and also he can't resist the heat. We agree to help and ask him about the ritual. He says it just requires some dexterous hands and a few ingredients. She must be burnt alive on a funeral pyre, alongside a basket made of the wood of 5 special trees: cinnamon, sassafras, ailanthus, cedar, and mastic. He says we would also need to beat her in combat, but since she's already weakened, we don't need to. He says the trees are all within her lair. It's a lava-filled cave guarded by the Phoenix's thralls. She has the ability to resurrect lesser creatures to guard her lair, and they're used to weed out weaklings to make sure only the worthy reach her. Because of the dire situation, they're not currently aggressive. We go through the cave, room by room, passing the reborn thralls and cutting twigs from the trees. The thralls all beg for our help as we run through. Eventually, we cut all 5 twigs and find the Phoenix's sanctum. There's a pyre and a Guthix altar. We weave the basket and the Phoenix crawls into it. We light the pyre. And she burns to ash. In the center of the room, she's reborn. We talk with her and she thanks us. We say there's no thanks necessary. It was quite simple. Oh, wait, she was going to give us a reward. This was probably the hardest quest we've ever been on. She teaches us an important lesson and gives us 5 of her quills. She says we can use them to summon her to our side, as a summoning familiar. She also gives us the right to challenge her once a day. We can navigate through her lair and repeat what we've done, with the addition of defending ourselves from her thralls, and then besting her in combat in exchange for 5 more quills. Her near-death experience has made her wish to stay here for a while, and she wants us to help her prolong her life by completing the rituals early. We mentioned the priest. She says to thank him for the shrine, and also give her trinkets back. We leave and let the priest know what happened. Quest complete. Despite only doing 3 quests, we've made some major shifts. It's 2009 now, and the Majoret have finally revealed their full power, and Lucien's clearly too strong to fight. He presumably has everything Zamorak did when he ascended. Does that mean we're about to get another god? We'll have to see in the Ritual of the Majoret. In 2 more years. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing. For now, we've got a lot of new unlocks that we'll be visiting in the next half episode. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't yet, consider subscribing so you don't miss it. See you soon.